The night my wife walked out, the deed felt heavier than any tool I'd ever held in my hands. It was proof that I'd lost my marriage, my place in my family, and whatever illusion I still had about being enough. My name's Daniel Carter. I'm 36 years old, a construction contractor by trade, born and raised in Southern California. I've spent my life building things for other people, believing that if I worked hard enough, eventually someone would see my worth. That night, staring at a 50-acre farm deed from rural Tennessee, I realized no one ever had. Quick reminder, if you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. Now back to the story. My older brother Michael got our parents' San Diego house, the one overlooking the water, worth over $1 million, sitting in a neighborhood people dream about but never reach. I got Grandpa Henry's farm, 50 acres of cracked soil that hadn't produced a single crop in 25 years. When my parents announced it, Michael smiled like the world had once again confirmed what we all already knew, that he was the winner, and I was the consolation prize. Emily didn't even try to hide it. She stared at the deed like it was a death sentence, and said the words that still echo in my head. I married a man with dreams, not a broke farmer with dead land. Then she packed a suitcase and left. No shouting, no drama, just quiet disgust and a slammed door. Losing her hurt more than losing the house ever could, because it confirmed what I'd feared my whole life, that when things got hard, I wasn't worth staying for. Growing up, Michael was everything my parents admired. Straight-A student, natural charm, the kind of guy adults bragged about. I was the responsible one, the steady one, the invisible one. That never changed. Michael built a flashy career in finance, drove a BMW, shook hands with powerful people. I poured concrete, fixed roofs, and worked until my hands split open. Honest work, but never impressive enough. So when Emily left and my parents' decision settled into my bones, I made up my mind. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to explain myself. I was going to drive to Tennessee, sell the land for whatever scraps I could get, and disappear from the life that kept reminding me I was second best. The land agent laughed politely when I asked what it might be worth. $7 grand. Maybe. Hunting land. If someone was desperate. That number hit harder than any insult Michael had ever thrown at me. $7,000 for 50 acres. For the thing that cost me my marriage. I packed a bag that night and drove east, mile after mile of highway giving me nothing but memories and regret. Grandpa Henry used to say, the land mattered, that it had history. Back then, I thought he was just a stubborn old man clinging to dirt. Now I wondered if he'd cursed me on purpose. When I finally pulled into the farm, my heart sank. The house leaned like it was tired of standing. The barn was collapsing. The fields were nothing but weeds and dust. Silence pressed in from every direction. This was it. This was what everyone thought I deserved. The next morning, the surveyor arrived, a quiet man named Larry who'd known my grandfather. He walked the land slowly, carefully, like he was listening to something beneath the soil. I followed him, angry and humiliated, waiting for him to confirm what everyone else already believed. But before he left, he stopped. I looked at the ground, then looked at me, and for the first time since Emily walked out, something in his expression made my chest tighten. He said he needed a few days, and for the first time, I wondered if Grandpa Henry hadn't left me a punishment after all, but something no one else was meant to have. The moment Larry said he needed a few days, sleep became impossible. Every creak of that farmhouse sounded louder, heavier, like the land itself was breathing beneath me. I kept replaying my whole life in my head every time I'd been overlooked. Every dinner where my parents praised Michael while I sat quietly. Every second Emily looked at me like I wasn't enough. Those days waiting for the report stretched longer than the drive from California. I walked the property over and over, boots kicking up dry dirt, staring at weeds like they were mocking me. Grandpa Henry's voice echoed in my memory. This soil has history, Daniel. Back then, I hated those summers here. Now I couldn't stop wondering what he saw that no one else did. Why did he refuse every offer? Why he left this to me, and not Michael. I drove into town to kill time. Jefferson County was small, one diner, one hardware store, and a lot of eyes that remembered my last name. A waitress poured my coffee and said, almost casually, said this land was protecting something. That sentence followed me all the way back to the farm, rattling louder than my truck. That night, Michael called. His voice dripped with sarcasm. He joked about me playing farmer, reminded me Mom and Dad were proud of what he was doing with the house. He offered me the guest room when I finally failed. I hung up before my anger spilled out, but something shifted inside me. I wasn't angry anymore. I was focused. When Larry finally came back, he didn't joke. He didn't smile. He carried a thick folder and told me to sit down. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I'd pass out. He spread maps and charts across the porch table. Numbers I barely understood at first. Then he said the words that cracked my world open. Rare earth minerals. Deep deposits. The kind companies fight wars over. This land wasn't dead, it was hiding a fortune. I laughed, then almost cried. Every insult, every dismissal, every moment I'd been treated like nothing came flooding back. Grandpa Henry knew. He had known all along. My phone rang before Larry even left. My parents. Panic in their voices. Michael had already told them I'd had the land surveyed. I told them the truth, calmly, clearly, that what they'd given me was worth more than the San Diego house, more than Michael's career, more than everything they'd ever measured success by. I hung up before they could rewrite history. Michael called next. Different tone. Friendly. Desperate. He wanted in. I wanted to help. I said no. For the first time in my life, I didn't hesitate. Then Emily called. Her voice cracked, apologetic, full of regret. She said she'd made a mistake. Said she believed in me now. I listened quietly. Then told her the truth. That she didn't leave because of land. She left because she didn't believe in me. And I couldn't unlearn that. When the call ended, the silence didn't feel empty anymore. It felt earned. But as offers started circling and words spread faster than I could control, Larry pulled me aside one last time and lowered his voice. Daniel, he said, there's something else in those records you haven't seen yet. And that's when I realized the land hadn't just changed my future. It was about to expose my family's past. I thought the discovery of the minerals was the ending. The final twist. The moment where life finally apologized for everything it had taken from me. I believed that once the truth came out, the years of being overlooked would finally make sense. I was wrong. The land wasn't finished with me yet. What my grandfather buried wasn't only beneath the soil. It was buried in silence, in long-standing family choices, in years of quiet judgment that shaped my entire life without my consent. Larry came back early the next morning. Earlier than he said he would. His truck rolled slowly up the gravel drive, tires crunching like they were announcing something heavy. He didn't joke this time. No small talk. No casual smile. He stepped out, holding a thick envelope instead of his usual clipboard, the edges worn. The farmhouse groaning like it was listening. Larry laid the documents out carefully, almost respectfully, like they deserved more than just being read. The records went back decades. Mineral rights filings, trust documents, legal structures layered so carefully they felt deliberate, intentional. Grandpa Henry hadn't just owned the land. He had protected it, locked it down piece by piece. Every clause was written, so no sibling, no parent, no outside pressure could ever force a sale, a split, or a claim. Whoever inherited this land would control it alone, completely. No family leverage, no interference, no second chances for anyone who didn't believe. Then Larry slid one final page across the table. It was yellow, folded, handwritten. My grandfather's handwriting, rough, blunt, unmistakable. Michael was given what he wanted. Daniel was given what he needed. I stared at those words until my chest tightened and my vision blurred. All my life, I believed I was the leftover son. The quiet one. The responsible one. The one who did what was expected but never what was celebrated. The one who didn't shine bright enough to matter. But Grandpa Henry had seen through all of it. He saw Michael's hunger for approval, my parents' obsession with appearances, and something in me no one else bothered to notice: endurance, patience, the ability to carry weight without breaking. He didn't leave me the land out of pity. He left it to me because he trusted me. When my parents finally came to Tennessee, they didn't arrive proud. They walked the property like visitors, like people who suddenly realized they were standing on ground they didn't understand anymore. My mother tried to smile, her voice softer than I remembered. My father tried to explain. Years of favoritism shrank into nervous justifications. How they thought Michael needed stability, how they assumed I'd figure something out, how they never imagined this outcome. I listened. I didn't interrupt. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The truth was beneath their feet. Michael came the next day. Alone. No confidence. No polished charm. No expensive suits. Just tension in his jaw and desperation in his voice. He talked about family, about fairness, about how we should work together now that things have changed. I looked at him and finally said the words I'd swallowed my entire life, that I grew up in his shadow, that I was measured against him in every room, and that this land was the first thing I'd ever had that didn't belong to a comparison. He didn't fight back. He didn't apologize. He just left. And for the first time, his absence didn't hurt. The offers came fast after that. Corporations, lawyers, negotiators. Numbers so large, they didn't feel real when spoken out loud. I didn't rush. I remembered how patience kept this land hidden for decades. When I finally signed, it wasn't fear driving my hand. It was controlled. Full ownership, full authority. No one above me, no one behind me. Emily tried one last time. She showed up without warning, standing at the edge of the driveway like someone hoping the past could forgive her. She cried. She apologized. She said she believed in me now. I listened calmly and told her the truth, that she didn't leave because of land. She left because she didn't believe in me when belief mattered most. And love that waits for proof isn't love I could trust. When she drove away, I didn't feel angry. I felt relieved. Now I walk the land every morning. The fences are being rebuilt. The house was restored. The barn was reinforced. Not to prove anything, but because this place deserves care. The same care I finally learned to give myself. My parents lost their leverage. My brother lost his certainty. My wife lost her chance. And I lost the version of myself that thought approval was the same as worth. They gave my brother the mansion. They gave me the land they called worthless. And in the end, that land didn't just make me wealthy. It revealed who everyone truly was and showed me exactly who I had been all along.